So you have been cleared of all charges, all of the hate charges that were against you. And this was the second trial that you had gone through. What does it feel like to be finally done with it?
So I have to say that I feel really grateful and relieved just today. This has been a happy day. So, of course, all the time, I believed that I will be acquitted from these charges, but you never know. But the result of the appellate court, it was very clear. It was very good and unanimous. 3 judges. So I think that it is a very strong statement supporting the freedom of speech and freedom of faith. And I hope that it is encouraging Christians and also other people to use their rights now. And I'm also happy that it has gained a lot of attention in Finnish media. There were live broadcasts from my press conference to Finnish media, and I could tell thoroughly the case and also the message of the gospel to the Finnish homes.
Well, that has been your passion throughout this. I know obviously defending religious freedom, free speech, but beyond that, sharing the hope and the truth of the gospel. And that's something that you've been able to do throughout this ordeal. I think a lot of people, though, especially in America, in the West, in other countries, watching what has gone on with your case has been very alarming. You've had a victory here, but you previously had a victory, right? And the prosecutor came back against you again, appealed it, and brought this back a second time. So I think there's a little bit of concern. People are watching it and they're saying, okay, thankfully you won this, but my goodness, how did you end up in that position in the first place? I think that's sort of the big question that people still have. So I have to ask you, and we'll get into a little bit of that in a moment, is there any chance they could appeal again? Take us through, are there any other legal options, or is this really truly now case closed and done?
Yes, even that the acquittal was very clear and the result of the court was very clear, there is still possibility that the prosecutor, she's able to appeal to the Supreme Court. And she was interviewed today, and she said that she's considering it. She has 60 days time to consider, to appeal to Supreme Court. She says that she is disappointed to the result. So we can't know what happened. But anyway, I have got from 2 courts, district court and appeal court, very clear acquittals. So we can celebrate it. And I hope that it encourages people to use these rights. Because, of course, this almost 5-year process, it has been some kind of warning sign to people, and it has also tended to create some kind of self-censorship among people.
Yes.
I hope that it would not happen, and that's why I want to encourage now people to use these rights.
Yeah, absolutely. And you are absolutely right to be, you're victorious today, so you should be celebrating that. It is remarkable to me that after 2 courts have reacted in this way very clearly, that there would even be any consideration that they would even think maybe we would appeal this again. I mean, that to me is remarkable. But, to your point, there are people who have watched your case, saw what happened to you, and they'll say to themselves, well, maybe I shouldn't speak up. Maybe I shouldn't tweet. Maybe I shouldn't. Yeah, especially looking at and just for those who don't know, and we've talked about this a number of times when we've had you on, what was it? There were a couple of things that was so egregious and so terrible in the eyes of this prosecutor that you were brought up on these charges. What were you accused of? Just take us through that.
Yes, this started 4 years ago from a Twitter post that I sent. It was a question to the leadership of my church. I posted a photo that was taken from the Bible, from the book of Romans, its first chapter, where Apostle Paul teaches about same-sex marriages. And the leadership of our church had just supported publicly the Helsinki Pride event. And I asked in that Twitter update that how does this fit to the foundation of the church that you are supporting the Pride event? It was just a question, and it was just a photo from the Bible. And then there became a criminal complaint, and police started to investigate the case. And after that, when it came to public, there were several other criminal complaints about a booklet that I had written already 20 years ago, or a radio discussion, TV show, and so on. And then the prosecutor decided to file up 3 charges against me. So this has been the whole process. But what has been difficult have been those false statements, false claims that the prosecutor has said, because it has been most difficult to fight against some false statements about my views and my statements.
Yeah. Yeah, well, because this is really, and you just highlighted, these are free speech moments, right? Sharing the picture of a Bible verse, talking about issues that are important, issues to culture, issues to the church. You said, or you didn't do anything or say anything that was rude or mean or cruel. And even if you did, it would be protected speech. And I think that's the part of this that has been so troubling. But based on your victory and where things currently stand, I know we want to leave people with an encouraging word, and there's a lot to celebrate for you today. What is your message, though, to those people who maybe right now are feeling afraid to speak out still? They're thinking, well, I shouldn't do it because I don't want to go through what she went through. What would you say to those people, particularly Christians?
Yes, I understand very well these people, because I have to say that I have felt privileged that I have been member of parliament. I have had possibility to fight 4 years against these charges. It might be more difficult for someone else in some other occupations and so on. But I want to say that if we are silent about these biblical issues, about our convictions, about our faith, the space for our freedoms, the space for the freedom of speech, it comes narrower. It doesn't come bigger if we are silent. So that's why I think that we have a calling to speak. If we believe in Jesus, we speak about him and we tell the truth of his word. So it is the calling of Christians to speak and to tell about gospel, to tell about these biblical truths.
Yeah, absolutely. And my final question for you, because I know you have a busy day today, and I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with us, but how will this case and what you've gone through impact or maybe change the issues you focus on, the things you think about in Parliament as a government official? I'm just curious, will you have new areas of focus? Does this get you thinking differently maybe about things you want to draw your attention to?
I have worked all the time during this process as a member of parliament. And I have to say that I have got a lot of support from my colleagues. And for example, today I got a lot of congratulations. So I don't think that this has made any problems to my career or my working. We had just last spring, we had the elections, parliamentary elections, and I got more votes than before. So I have also got trust from people. So
Yeah.
everything is good, and I'm very happy that I have this calling also to work as a member of parliament. I try to make our society so good as possible for all people.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, I want to add too, because you and I, we've done a number of interviews over the last couple of years now. And you know, you are not a hateful person. You've made it very clear that you love everyone, and you've made that clear throughout the process here. And I think that's an important thing to emphasize for those who don't understand
Yes.
what has gone on here. And I'll leave you with a final word. I don't know if you want to add anything to that, but I do think that's important to bring up here.
Yes, it is. I also said it in court, and also in today when I was in the press conference, that these statements that I have said, they do not rise from hatred. They rise from love, because God is love, and His word is written out of love, and all people are equal, or all people are created as the image of God. But we all are sinners also, and we are in need of grace. We need what Christ has done for us to get the salvation, eternal salvation. So I say it again and again, that this is not what Bible teaches. It is not hate speech. It is love speech, and we are called to love our neighbors, to love all people.
Well, I so appreciate you taking the time, coming on with us, and hopefully there is not an appeal and it ends here. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much.